But first tonight, new video, the last known moments of a woman in the Bronx before she disappeared. And good evening, everyone, at 11 o'clock. I'm Bill Ritter.
And I'm Sade Better-in-Law. That woman's body was found today in a suitcase along the Sawmill River Parkway.
Eyewitness reporter Stefan Kemp live at the 46th Precinct Station House with details on who cops are now questioning. Stefan.
Well, Bill and Sade, her family said they are certain it was her ex-boyfriend, that she was in the process of moving out, that he was the last one to have seen her. But to be clear, cops have not charged anyone. They have not named any suspects. But sources say her ex-boyfriend is in custody, being questioned here at the 46th Precinct.
She was supposed to move, and I think he find out. He used to put a recorder on the car and recorder on the bedroom. So he can know everything what happened. What is she doing?
Mom, pray for me. She said that to her last Thursday. She said, Mom, I just want you to pray for me. And that was all.
Pamela Alcantara's aunt and cousin say they had already found a place for her to live. They even bought her a car so she could move out of her apartment she shared with her ex-boyfriend at the Bronx building on Morris Avenue. This is surveillance video of her entering the building elevator just after midnight Sunday. There is no video of her leaving. She was on the phone with her mother. She never made it to church on Sunday. Sources say today, the body of the 26-year-old was found stuffed in a suitcase by the Sawmill River Parkway near the Bronx-Yonkers border.
You intimidate her?
She went to church, she went home, she spoke with her mom on a daily basis, and she only spent time with her church friends and went to work. That was it.
Her family plastered missing posters around her neighborhood, desperately hoping she would be found. They say they visited the apartment on Monday. It wasn't messy, except they say next to their bed there were signs of an argument and a struggle. They had been together for about 3 years until Alcantara recently ended it.
I checked her Facebook and I was telling my mom what she doesn't have any pictures. She doesn't have. The only thing she has is her profile pictures, but she wasn't allowed to put any pictures.
Again, at this hour, no one has been charged, no arrest. It's still unclear at this hour who found the body. Reporting live in the Bronx, Stefan Kim, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
But first tonight,
A Milwaukee man is on the run after shooting his girlfriend at least 14 times in front of their children. Not only did this mother survive, she asked to share her story on our Milwaukee Crime Stoppers segment to help catch him. Also, the whole shooting was caught on video, which we are about to show you at the victim's urging. But we want to warn you, it's graphic and heartbreaking. When we showed Nakia Shoemake surveillance video of the day her boyfriend shot her 14 times in front of their 3 children, she was quiet at first, watching intently as he chased her out of her minivan after an argument. He ran her down, shooting her until she falls to the ground. And as she's laying there, he continues to shoot her again and again. But it was when her 12-year-old daughter and 5-year-old son get out of the car to stop their dad from killing their mother that Nakia totally broke down, re-traumatized. Her tears fell, leg shaking uncontrollably.
How do you feel watching that video?
We asked if she wanted to stop the interview, but she said no, because Nakia Shoemake wants you to see what happened to her from beginning to end.
I would like for the whole video to be played so people can understand from my point of view and from my kids' point of view. So they can actually see how we were right during that moment. And to know that someone that they call dad, someone that we once loved, to turn his back on us.
Watch as Askia Strong keeps shooting while she's on the ground, turns to run away, then comes back and shoots several more times to finish the job.
And he just kept shooting, and I just felt to feel, not just laid there, just lay and kept shooting. He was done.
What was that like?
Scary. It burned.
Numb and bleeding, she lays on the ground while he runs off down the alley. And after being shot in the head, stomach, arms, and legs at close range, Nakia Shoemake gets up.
So what made you get back up?
When I opened my eyes and I see my baby.
My eyes was able to focus, so I just got up like this a little bit, and then I was like, oh, I can stand up, and then I just stood up all the way. And I grabbed my babies and we went. I think the lady, she was just sitting there watching. So I went to her car and I opened the door and I pushed her laundry over and I was like, can you please just take me?
What do you want to say to people who see this?
Just turn it in.
After fleeing down the alley near South 24th and West Lapham, 32-year-old Askia Strong is on the run, wanted for attempted homicide. Milwaukee police believe Strong is hiding with friends and family in either Wisconsin, Illinois, or Indiana.
And was he always like this?
No, in the beginning.
Nakia says the two had been dating for 17 years, since they were 15 years old. He was in and out of jail, and their kids have witnessed him abuse her for the last several years.
Did you ever think that he would shoot you?
No, ma'am. He pulled the gun out before that. But he didn't use it or anything. He was just calling me stupid and stuff.
Nakia says days before the shooting, the abuse got worse because she finally broke up with him for good.
I made life so easy for him that he couldn't accept that life was just about to get hard.
Do you hate him?
I do. I really do.
Nakia could have been part of a growing number of domestic violence victims being killed in Wisconsin. According to the latest numbers from End Domestic Abuse Wisconsin, there were 80 total domestic violence homicides in the state last year. Nearly a third of those were in Milwaukee. This year, there have been 19 DV homicides in the city already, many of them black women.
Some girls don't believe they even in domestic violence because they figure I fight back or I stand up for myself, or they're just giving themselves so many reasons why they not going through domestic violence. But if they really just step back and look, domestic violence comes in so many different forms.
Since the shooting, Nakia says Askia Strong has been harassing her through social media from wherever he is. But she's not afraid.
So why would I live in fear? God don't want you to live in fear. He didn't let me live to live in fear.
Why do you think that you're alive today?
I got a mission.
Her mission is to keep protecting her children from Askia Strong, their father, and to help other women in abusive relationships get on their feet and out before it's too late.
Are you a hero?
The moment I get up off that ground, I was a hero. It was victory for me from that point on.
If you are harboring Askia Strong, or you know anyone who is hiding him, or you have information about where he may be, please call Milwaukee Crime Stoppers right now at 414-224-8477. You can also
Yeah. Now we're back on. Apologize for the technical difficulties. As I was saying, you see these relationships that these females be in, it's only a matter of time before these guys show their true selves. Let me go back and play the first video. I just want to play it back. Play it back. Here we go.
But first tonight, new video of the last known moments of a woman in the Bronx before she disappeared. And good evening, everyone, at 11 o'clock. I'm Bill Ritter.
And I'm Sade Betterenwall. That woman's body was found today in a suitcase along the Sawmill River Parkway.
Eyewitness News reporter Stefan Kim live at the 4-6 Precinct Station House with details on who cops are now questioning. Stefan.
Well, Bill and Sade, her family says they are certain it was her ex-boyfriend, that she was in the process of moving out, that he was the last one to have seen her. But to be clear, cops have not charged anyone. They have not named any suspects. But sources say her ex-boyfriend is in custody, being questioned here at the 46th Precinct.
She was supposed to move, and I think he found out. He used to put a recorder on the car and recorder on the bedroom, so he can know everything, what happened, what is she doing.
Mom, pray for me. She said that to her on last Thursday. She said, Mom, I just want you to pray for me. And that was all.
Pamela Alcantara's aunt and cousin say they had already found a place for her to live. They even bought her a car so she could move out of her apartment she shared with her ex-boyfriend at this Bronx building on Morris Avenue. This is surveillance video of her entering the building elevator just after midnight Sunday. There is no video of her leaving. She was on the phone with her mother. She never made it to church on Sunday. Sources say today, the body of the 26-year-old was found stuffed in a suitcase by the Sawmill River Parkway near the Bronx-Yonkers border.
He used to intimidate her.
She went to church, she went home, she spoke with her mom on a daily basis, and she only spent time with her church friends and went to work. That was it.
Her family plastered missing posters around her neighborhood, desperately hoping she would be found. They say they visited the apartment on Monday. It wasn't messy, except they say next to their bed there were signs of an argument and a struggle. They had been together for about 3 years until Alcantara recently ended it.
I checked her Facebook and I was telling my mom what she doesn't have any pictures up. She doesn't have, the only thing she has is her profile pictures, but she wasn't allowed to put any pictures up.
Again, at this hour, no one has been charged, no arrest. It's still unclear at this hour who found the body. Reporting live in the Bronx, Stefan Kim, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
I dare you to let me build you a completely free e-commerce store.
Yeah, so like I was saying, that's the young lady, 26-year-old, that was found unalive and packed in a suitcase. So the parents and family members knew that she was in some type of distress. I want to put another story up. I think it's a continuation. Let's see. Let me make sure. I think it's a continuation. If I got it right. Hold on. Bear with me. All right, here we go. Let's jump on this right here.
Moments ago, murdered. Charges were filed against the ex-boyfriend of that woman found dead in a suitcase in Yonkers. The body of 26-year-old Pamela Alcantara was found along the Sawmill Parkway in Yonkers yesterday. The medical examiner trying to determine the cause of death. Eyewitness News reporter Sonia Racon live in the Fordham Heights section of the Bronx, where a candle vigil is about to start, but it's starting with this big news. Sonia.
That's right, Bill. That vigil just getting underway for Pamela Alcantara moments after her ex-boyfriend was charged with murder, manslaughter, and kidnapping. Her family has told us the 26-year-old was deeply involved in her church and community, and everybody was shocked to find out what happened to her. Members of that community, you can hear behind me, are now praying for justice. Alcantara's ex-boyfriend has been being questioned at the nearby 4-6 precinct and again was just now charged in her disappearance and death over the weekend, discovered when police found her body in a suitcase. There is video showing Alcantara going into an elevator in this building Sunday just after midnight. No one reported seeing her after that. There is no video showing her leaving, though sources say her ex told cops she left later with the suitcase, and they are not buying that story. Sources tell Eyewitness News a police drone did help locate a red suitcase in a shallow, marshy area just off the Sawmill Parkway near the Palmer Road exit yesterday. Alcantara's body was in that suitcase, and now police need to know the exact cause and manner of death. Community and faith leaders are rallying around Alcantara's family this evening, a family that never suspected she was in danger and was helping her move on after the recent breakup.
If the family in the first video said that, they help her rent a car so she could get away from the situation, she knew the guy was staying with her, then the family know that she may have been in some type of distress. Nobody wants to paint their family member as a person that's irresponsible, or a person that was bad, or a person that didn't understand what they, nobody want to paint their family member as a bad individual or incompetent individual. But for the family to say they had no idea she was in danger, that's a little bit far-fetched.
This is the first time the family is coming out with the community to have a moment of prayer, to have a moment of remembrance, to have a moment to value her life. Could she live a life well lived? She was a young lady, 26-year-old, that went to church 4 or 5 times a week.
As former city council member Fernando Cabrera, who is a pastor at a nearby church that will be handling her wake. Again, that hasn't been scheduled yet because her body is still with the Westchester County Medical Examiner's Office. But again, in just the last few minutes, Alcantara's ex-boyfriend, who is now identified as 46-year-old Junior Perez Diaz,
46-year-old man with a 26-year-old lady. And this lady didn't want nothing to do with him because his actions. A 46-year-old man is supposed to have wisdom and maturity. I don't know if he had any children, but if he had any children, that child of his or children of his would be the same age as his girlfriend. But in this case, I'm just going off of the mindset that he's supposed to have. He's supposed to be able to accept a breakup. She's a young lady. Let her live her life. Let her move on. I've been in multiple relationships. And sometimes you may find that woman that you really want to be with. And the key word is you. You really want to be with that person. But you can't force that person if she don't want to be with you. And vice versa. You just can't force it. So a 46-year-old man is going to jail for the rest of his life because that candy apple was sweet. That candy apple was sweet. And he didn't want nobody else to have that candy apple.
Has been charged in her death and disappearance. No word yet on exactly how she was killed, but he is charged with murder, manslaughter, and 2 different abduction charges, and he is in custody at the 4-6 Precinct Station House nearby as her family prays for justice here. We're live in Fordham, the Bronx. Sonia Rincon, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Deep. 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 We only live once, man. So make your life a good life. Let me jump into this. Just spooked me a little bit when I seen this video. And I don't know if it's an ex-boyfriend, something she did wrong, but this right here is one for the record books. And you know, just bear with me. I gotta load this up. We got this. Here we go.
This poor woman's final moments were captured on home security cameras. You can see her just running for her life as the gunman keeps. This poor woman's final moments were captured on home security cameras. You can see her just running for her life as the gunman keeps firing. We do want to warn you, this video, it's tough to watch. Right in the middle of the day on Rhode Island Avenue near John R. and Highland Park. The video shows the blue SUV pulling up. A man quickly jumps out of the passenger side, firing shots at Kwan Taylor, who was just walking down the street. She screams, running into a backyard. The gunman close behind keeps firing until Kwan is dead. We're told she lives just a few houses down from where the shooting happened. It's a route she walks often. And by the looks of the video, the gunman knew who he was after. Police tell Fox 2 no one else was hurt in the barrage of gunfire, but an elderly woman's window was shot out. We talk with friends of Kwan, who says she's a good person and they can't understand who would do this. Michigan State Police have taken over the investigation. We checked in with them Thursday, and since this happened last Friday, they have not been able to develop a motive, and there's no suspects either. The shooter is still on the loose. Unfortunately, that security footage is pretty grainy, but there was that blue SUV at the scene. If you know anything about this homicide, call police right away. Jessica Dupnack, Fox 2 News.
So, trying to do some update on this case. There's nothing pulling up. So I don't know if that was an ex-boyfriend or something evidently went wrong there for this particular lady to get her life taken. You know, it definitely something had to happen for her life to be taken like that. You know? I'm just gonna keep lowering them up. Cause this is deep, man. This is deep. Just so many. You know? Oh, I seen this earlier. I'm gonna load this up, but I'm gonna skip through it just to give you an understanding of how these men be doing what they do over these women, and the end result always seem to be somebody being unalive due to the fact of a breakup.
Built right in your.
Here we go. This is law. What's this? Law and crime. But just pay attention to this. Get an understanding of what this is about. Here we go.
According to police, as well as what friends and family have told local media outlets, Lilia met McNeil when she was working at a Seattle strip club. McNeil reportedly had separated from his wife he shared children with. He lost his bid for re-election to the city council last year. He had served 2 terms. McNeil and Lilia apparently had been in an on-again, off-again relationship for some time, with McNeil reportedly funding her lifestyle so she could maybe quit her job. They reportedly had a fight just days before she was killed. Lilia's friend Madison Darner told KIRO7 in Seattle she was 20 years old and she was young. She was figuring out her life, and she was a beautiful and talented young woman. She cared for every single person, and the intention behind her actions was so sincere and genuine. No one deserves to be murdered like that. I want to bring in right now Seattle attorney Ann Bremner. Someone dies, it makes sense. But let me talk to you about McNeil's attorney, because this is really, really interesting. So,
lawyer says, listen, somebody needs to report this. I'm sitting here. And so Jan makes the call. That's the way I would think it happened. But only Jan knows, and only the defendant knows.
Because your client could confess to you, I know where the bodies are, or I did this, but you wouldn't be under a legal.
Listen up. If you've been injured in a recent car accident, what you do?
Oh man, what's going on with this thing here, man? It's commercials, man.
And potentially a jury in the future as to what she was going through. I mean, she had worked, and then he was paying her $10,000 a month, and she didn't work. And yet, she was all conflicted because he was controlling, he was abusive, and she was reminding herself daily, don't fall for this guy. And she even talked about how he would get abusive, she would give him the silent treatment, and then he would love bomb her and have her come back, gifts, dresses, things like that, and money. But she wanted out of that cycle. But then she ended up dead. We know how cycle of violence can oftentimes end this way. And just one other side note, in the O.J. Simpson case we just saw, at least I recently saw, that Nicole Brown Simpson had quite a journal similar to this that never came into evidence.
So in other words, you see this in the kinds of cases you've covered, these domestic violence cases where there's somebody in the relationship.
There was even a vigil yesterday for her because some folks were saying she was denigrated because she'd quote unquote been a stripper before this. And a lot of people are talking about what a wonderful person she was, her family as her friends, her neighbors, etc. And so maybe he did try and do that. But again, how's that going to help him in a trial? He's facing murder 2 charges with potentially, like you said, life in prison and a $50,000 fine.
So he gets life in prison after spending $10,000 a month on that young girl, 20-year-old young lady who's just still trying to figure things out. But a lot of that be age. And older men gotta understand, you got your money right, but young girls, they full of vain. Okay? Vanity. They want a nice looking man. You may be an older, nice looking man, but your hair is receding. You got an old man pot belly. Even if it's a young guy that got a pot belly, his skin is too tight. You see youthfulness. When a woman look at a picture with her and herself, when a woman look at herself and her significant other is an older man, first thing she's saying is, I gotta get away from this man. I gotta get away from him. Now I gotta find a way how to get away from him. Lay down with him to get the things I need to proceed in life. I could do that, but to spend the rest of my life with this man, especially if you're in the United States of America, the culture is vanity. Everything had to be on the same level. Now, older men that got paper, dealing with younger girls, that's cool. But the older man know when he's away, she's outside playing. She gotta play. She's young. So you playing with danger. But the thing that gets me is a man that have wisdom. Your older people supposed to have wisdom, period. That's what they say. So a man that's 58, he strangles a 20-year-old female. Why? Why? Because he didn't have no respect for her? Because she used to be an exotic dancer? But you fell in love with an exotic dancer. So this exotic dancer was considered low level, low ground, right? But you still fell in love with that low level female and you pampered her and gave her everything she needed. And due to that, you decided to strangle her. Nah, man, bump all that. That low exotic, that exotic dancer, that candy apple was sweet. Sweet. That's why he strangled her. Ain't got nothing to do with her lifestyle. He's an older guy. He already know he was on a timeline. And she's about to let him go. Thank you for all the $10,000 a month, baby. But I gotta do what I gotta do. I'm young. I want something else knocking this down. That's young like me. You know? Let's drop something else, man. Let's just keep dropping them. Keep dropping them. Let's see, man. I had this lined up too, but let's see. This is out here in Korea. Let's just drop this real quick. Just to give you a understanding that it's all over. No matter where you at, it's the mindset of a person. We're gonna drop this real quick. This is
The woman is on the ground.
Hold on, here we go. This Korea Now. Shout out to Korea Now. It's a podcast. I just wanna give you a little piece of this. Nah, matter of fact, nah. I ain't gonna do that. Let me stick to my original routine, like I said. I just had it. That's too long. Nah, I'm not dealing with that. I just want something basic. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, in these relationships, man, what's the meaning of love if men are just nonstop taking these women out because they don't want to be bothered with them no more? No matter how much you put up for that female, once she's done, she's done. So for you to take that person's life, it's just a lot, man. I ain't gonna be on here for too much longer. I got one more thing to drop, and I'm ending this. Just bear with me. There's so many. Florida man. Everything's law and crime. So just drop this up real quick.
Those two girls got attacked. He saved them. When I came up, he was trying to kill himself. So I just got the knife out of his hand because I figured he could still jump around.
That man who attacked the two women has now pleaded guilty to trying to kill his ex-girlfriend and her mother and wounding a bystander who came to their aid.
We were coming in from this side, and the guy that stopped everything ran in front of us, and I was like, what the hell is going on, you know?
The man's name is Spencer Pearson, and his sentencing may be delayed after his defense attorney had him evaluated by the same psychologist who evaluated Casey Anthony. I lay out what this could mean for the case of Spencer Pearson. Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy.
Listen. Most of these people's heads is chipped. It has to be. Or I'm missing something. Because like I said, I've been in relationships. And when a woman didn't want to be with me, I didn't plan her demise. I didn't take them out. You move on in life. That person's not meant to be for you. Or you're not meant to be for her. And that's what it is. You understand? That's what it is. And I'm disappointed in these men. The way they carry themselves. Disappointed. Disappointed, man. Let's just finish dropping this.
Madison Shemitz was paralyzed by the attack, but remarkably, she has regained the ability to walk with help and after months of rehabilitation. Madison later met the man who saved her. A photo of them meeting was posted on her GoFundMe page.
Madison Victoria Shemitz.
And this past May, Madison walked onto the stage at Ponte Vedra High School to thunderous applause where she collected her high school diploma. Then in July, Spencer Pearson pleaded guilty to 2 counts of first-degree attempted murder and 1 count of aggravated battery causing serious bodily injury. He was supposed to be sentenced next week, but that now looks like it might not happen. The prosecution is asking to delay the sentencing after receiving a psychological evaluation of Pearson from Dr. Harry Kropp. He's a forensic psychologist who met with Casey Anthony several times. She was the young Florida mom, of course, who was acquitted in
very dramatic or profound that has to be uncovered. But sometimes this is how defenses work in situations like this, where they just want to make sure that they're covering every base about what
mother. He then attacks them.
Sometimes we see certain types of personalities that go with that.
There was a premeditation aspect of this. I mean, he went to the restaurant. Mm-hmm. He was eating in the restaurant. He's watching Madison and her mother. He then attacks them. But then on the body camera footage, they're talking about some of these bystanders who jump in to help and witnesses that he's slashing his own throat.
Mm-hmm. So you heard that? Homeboy slashing his own throat. So, good girls like bad boys, right? Good girls want to fall in love with a bad boy. And they feel like because they cater to those bad boys, they give them all attention, they give them a chance, that man supposed to be loyal to them. That's a bad psychology that some people have when it comes to relationships. It's a manipulating tactic that always backfire on any individual that goes into the relationship with that. So, if a pretty girl's with a guy that's unattractive, she's with a guy that's unattractive because that guy gonna be all into her and she knows that. He gonna do anything that she want because she knows that he can't get, or she feels that he's an unattractive man. He needs to be grateful to be with her because he's not gonna get too many other females looking his way. That's the mindset, right? So she plays around with him. He catch on and he do what he got to do, and he makes sure she's not here no more because he realized she didn't love him. She was just using him for the things that she could get. and making sure she provided a service for him as a payoff. All right. But look at the trade-off. She's not here, and he's where he's at. So people, you know, if you know a person not for you, let it go, man. You have a nice looking woman that don't want a nice looking man, because that nice looking man gonna have the attention of other women, and the woman don't want to compete, so she rather get somebody that have a lot less to focus on her. Manipulating. A man have a whole lot of cash, have his stuff together. He want that pretty female as a trophy piece, right? No matter how he look, as long as he has stuff together, a woman would, you know, entertain that man. But if a man's gorgeous or good looking and he have his together, that woman not gonna want to deal with that man. There's nothing she got to try to break him down. He's well taken care of. He's well established. So where's the love in a relationship? It's all about what a person want for themselves. And if you happen to be with a person that's the opposite sex, then because you with a person that, for not being stereotypical or not being biased, I'm just saying a man with a lady, typical platonic relationship, woman and man, when that goes wrong, for you to try to salvage that by using manipulative ways, it just makes it worse. Rest in peace to all these women that lost their life. But these men had warning signs. These men always was who they were. These men was bad from the beginning. But some good girls like bad men, thinking they could change that bad man. But it's not even that. They want that bad man because society is done off with those bad men. They don't give those bad men no chances. So that girl feels like, hey, I give that man a chance. He gotta be loyal to me. Because if I didn't have nothing, the first person that come to take care of me or provide for me or save me, I'm loyal to that person. That's a difference in personalities. That's a difference in mindsets. And that's the difference in the outlook towards the relationship. SB Convo, baby. I'm out.